Have you ever been frustrated with how fast your network marketing business is growing? On this video, I'm gonna show you how to speed up your business 1 to 2 years in only 48 to 72 hours coming up. Hey everybody, Darren Kidd here, multiple 7-figure earner in the network marketing profession, but it hasn't always been like that. Matter of fact, I struggled for years and just said, I got to the point I said, I'll never do it again. I don't know if you can relate to that, but it wasn't until I had the right mentors that came into my life that taught me what to do, what not to do, that all of a sudden everything started to change. And that's why I love helping people like you watching this video. I don't want you to spend years trying to figure out what to do. I want to shave those years off your learning curve just by giving you the right content. And the content I want to share with you today, it's one tip, but it's a big tip. It's probably the one thing that turned everything around. If I hadn't learned this one tip, I wouldn't be standing here today sharing my story with you. I wouldn't be living the life of my dreams. I wouldn't be a stay-at-home parent. My wife and I now for over 20 years. I wouldn't have made multiple 7 figures, traveling the world, helping people, having fun. None of that would have happened if it wasn't for this one thing. But I want to share with you my story that leads up to the one thing, because if I just share with you right now, you're probably going to turn off the video and go, oh, that can't be that big a deal, but it is. So I'd encourage you to be coachable. And if I share some things with you that rub you the wrong way, just know from my experience, when things rub me the wrong way, most of the time they were meant for me. So let me go back to where I joined a company. I've been working in this company for 13 months. And I remember that I had a mentor of mine that had the lifestyle that I wanted. That's important, because I don't want to go ask a broke person, what do I need to do to have financial success, because they're broke, right? If we buy people's opinion, we buy their lifestyle. That's like you reaching out to me after this video and going, Darren, I just want to know, how do I grow a nice, full, thick head of hair? You're not going to ask me that, right? You're going to laugh and go, I would never do that. Then why do we ask our broke friends and family and neighbors for business advice when they've never had success in business, especially not in the network marketing profession? So I asked this guy, he had the financial freedom, he had the time freedom, he was at home in the pool with his kids in the middle of a work day when other people are at their jobs. And 13 months in, every single person on my team had quit. Okay, everyone except my mom. And I joke about that now because I say, look, the only reason my mom stayed in is because I go, Mom, if it doesn't work, I may have to move back home. Okay, so she wasn't quitting. But everyone had quit. I was broke. I was actually bankrupt. My car, they were trying to find my car to repossess my car. I was on government assistance, on Medicaid, applying for food stamps, couldn't feed my family, living in a small town. I mean, in our town now, we have 4 traffic lights. That's been, 18 years ago. So here I was, depressed, feeling like a failure in life, and I'd been working for 13 months hard, and it failed. In my eyes, I was done. And he said this to me, he goes, Darren, I will see you at the big event, the corporate event, the company event coming up here in 2 weeks. And I'm like, you won't see me you won't see me at the big event. And he goes, why not? And I gave him 3 different excuses. So tell me if you can relate to any of these excuses, or maybe you have people that share these, they give you these same excuses. Number 1, I go, I can't afford it. And he repeated it back to me. He goes, what did you just say? He made me repeat it. And I go, I can't afford it, which by the way, I've learned never to say I can't afford it, to ask myself, how can I afford it? And he said, Darren, how many years have you been working? And I go, my whole life. And he goes, you can't afford to take off 48 to 72 hours? Who sold you on that plan? Darren, if you don't have enough time or finances to take off 48 to 72 hours, you're only a few days away from financial devastation. If anything happens in your life at all, whether it's your car, your house, your health, anything, and for things to change, you've got to change. For things to get better, you've got to get better. To get something different, you have to do something different. We've heard the definition of insanity, doing what we've always done and expecting things to change. I says, well, I don't have a lot of time. I've got kids. We say that like kids are a disease. I got kids. You got kids? He goes, Darren, I thought that was your reason. I didn't know you were going to use your kids as an excuse. Do you want daycare raising your kids, or do you want to raise your kids? If I come back to you 5 years from now, will you still be saying, I don't have any time? which, by the way, rubbed me the wrong way, and because it was meant for me. But thank God I had someone that cared enough about me to tell me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. Number 3, I go, let me think about it. He knew that meant, that was code for, let me get off the phone, call my broke friends and family and say, what do you think? Which they say things like, you're not making any money, why would you go? You don't need to go one of those hype things. And I used to say, well, once I start making money, I will go to some of those things. And then my mentors, they had the life that I wanted, which is very important. They said the attitude comes before the money. The money doesn't come before the attitude. Darren, you don't make what you want, you make what you are. And if you want to make more, you have to become more. After I put my ego in my pocket, because big egos equal small pockets, I said, you know what? I'm going to hide my car. And I did for 2 weeks, and I'm going to drive, and I drove that all night. I slept in my car, went to the event, sat in the back row, had a pity party for myself. I don't know if you ever had a pity party for yourself, but I go, they must come from big cities. I live in a small town. They must have a college education. I have a lack of education. They must be great public speakers. I'll pass out in front of 5 people if you make me get in front of a room. But something changed. I was in the company when I went to the event, but when I left, the company was in me. And I remember within several months after I left that event, because I made a decision that day. If I hadn't gone to that event, I wouldn't be in the profession to this day. I wouldn't have the lifestyle, nothing that I have now. So thank God, again, I had someone that cared enough about me to tell me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. And so within a few months, my income for the first time ever went to over $10,000 a month, and it changed my life. Let me also give you this question. So the number 1 tip is going to a corporate event. But let me also ask you this question. If I'm sitting down with you for a cup of coffee and you're sharing with me why you got into network marketing, and I'm going to ask you, hey, look, what's most important to you in your life right now? And you go, it's my kids, it's my spouse, it's my retiring someone that I love and care about. It's given to charities, churches, whatever it may be. And I go, what if I could share with you a way to speed up your business 1 to 2 years and only 48 to 72 hours? Would you want to hear about it? And they go, of course. What if I could show you a way to achieve your goals a whole lot sooner than later? Absolutely. And I asked them to be coachable. And then I also ask them this question, and this is something you can ask your team when you're promoting a big event. What if you had the ability for the next 10 weekends in a row to go into every top, let's say 10 top cities, states, provinces in Canada, countries, whatever it may be, every weekend for 10 weekends in a row, you're sitting there on a Saturday and you're being trained by a top money earner in your company. What would that do for your business? And I let them answer me. And they always say that would shave years off my learning curve. That would explode my business. But then I go, I don't know about you, but I don't have 10 weekends that I want to be away from my family. I don't want to spend $10,000 or $20,000 in travel expenses. And they agree with me. And I go, the good news is you don't have to do that. All you've got to do is be at the corporate event coming up. And those top leaders will be there for 48 to 72 hours and corporate, training you and shaving years off your learning curve. And when he told me, he said, Darren, you'll be a year to 2 years ahead of everybody that doesn't go. And if you don't go, even if you make it in the business, you'll be a year to 2 years behind everyone that does. And I don't want to miss out. I'm like, you know what? This guy has the lifestyle that I want. I've been listening to broke people my whole life. I'm going to listen to somebody that has the lifestyle that I want, and it changed my life. So make sure when you have a corporate event, you go to the corporate event. Let me give you a bonus tip on top of that. The people that you get to the event, you can count on an average of about $1,000 in income that year for every person that you get to attend the event with you. So let's say you had 10 people and they were split up in whatever compensation plan structure you have, not just in one organization, because your compensation plan is not going to pay you for just one, okay, but they're split up maybe evenly. You can count on average, and I have worked this through my own team. I've been to the Network Marketing GoPro event with Eric Worre in Las Vegas, where there's several hundred 6- and 7-figure earners in the room, and they all agree that the numbers are almost exactly what we're sharing with you right now. They're pretty accurate. You count on about $1,000. You have 25 people, split it up evenly. It's about 25,000 and so on and so forth. So what you want to do as a leader, and you may go, well, Darren, I only have a couple people on my team. I'm not really a leader. Attitude comes before the money. The money doesn't come before the attitude. You are a leader, right? You have to act as if. Act the way you want to feel. Soon you'll feel the way you act. As a leader, we have to solve problems because people, they don't know what they don't know yet. So when they go, look, I can't afford the travel, don't leave your financial future in their hands. Get on there, find out what the plane ticket costs. Find out how many people, how many customers, how many distributors they need to bring on board to earn that plane ticket. Well, I need a place to stay. You can pile 10 or 15 people in a hotel room. They're paying $10 a piece, right? You're creating a story. As long as they get to the event, you're not going to be in there much anyway. Well, I like to eat, Darren, and I can't afford to eat when I get there. Well, we'll go to the grocery store, Sam's, Costco, and we'll buy peanut butter and jelly, and we'll eat sandwiches for 48 to 72 hours. We can do anything for 48 to 72 hours because I had one person that met me at my first big event. This guy wasn't even signed up yet, but he came to the event. He was sold. He joined, and that led to my biggest organization in that company, which made me a lot of money over the next decade, and it was only one person. So work to get as many people with you as you possibly can to the corporate event. So I know that some of you, you may go, man, corporate event, it can't be that big a deal. Trust me, it is that big a deal. You want to make sure you get to the corporate event. You want to get as many people in your team as you possibly can to the corporate event. Get them to watch this video. Understand that even when they're in the business, they join the business. That's just a written permission slip for you to continue to recruit them, because it doesn't mean they're completely sold on what you're, the company and their belief in the company. But once you get them to the event, all of that changes. So it does take multiple exposures of sharing with them why they need to be at the big event. They're tuned into their favorite radio station. It's the same one that you're tuned into, I'm tuned into. WIIFM. What's in it for me? So I hope this, motivates you and inspires you to get to that next big event. Can't wait to hear your story in the future of what a big event did for you. And so happy promoting. See you at the corporate event. Take care and take charge.